Hello, I'm Michael for Gamewatcher.com, and today welcome to our Urban Empire preview. Reborn Interactive seek to combine political intrigue with the classic city building in their upcoming game Urban Empire. The game is being published by Tropical creators Kalypso Media and is set to bring some fairly interesting ideas to a rigid genre. Set in the time frame of the Industrial Revolution, the game places you in the role of a mayor of a newly formed town, and you must take your town, grow and expand into a city and progress through the different eras and experience the unique technological and socio-economic challenges that the era provided. When first starting the game, you're asked which character you want to be. There are several characters available, each from different family houses. Each family house has their own traits, each character within that house has their own traits, as well as their own particular focuses and specializations. For example, the St. Elas house, they focused on technological innovation and progressivism. So it was about when you build your city, you politically want to focus on more progressive things, and you also want to focus on climbing that technology tree. After you've chosen your character, you select a map and then head directly into the game. Your first order of business once up in the game is to create your first district. Districts are drag and drop, and it's very simple to use. And once you've created your first district, and of course the various city hall where you can place in whichever tile you so wish, then you can see your first district grow from a small hamlet into a thriving little town. Urban Empire in many ways works like most city builders, in particular like city skylines, in the sense that you create a district, which is an easy way of just putting roads and various residential, industrial and commercial housing down. Once that is done, then you have various buildings which are called services in Urban Empire. Once you've unlocked these services, you can place them within a district. Now you can edit a district at any time, you can change its layout, you can change its zoning, and you can also change its services and infrastructure. So once you are technologically progressed a certain amount, you'll unlock various things like gas systems, like water systems and electricity, and you can simply modify an existing district and add in an infrastructure, which will of course cost money, but it will improve the district that you've already built. As you grow and expand, it's important to keep up with your finances. The financial side of this game is of great importance because it directly affects every other system in this game. As you expand and get more and more people, more and more businesses, and of course more and more industry into your town/city, it's important to raise taxes accordingly to keep up with running costs of the various services and infrastructure that you put in place. The two main draws of this game thus far are the progress cloud and the political intrigue side of things. So first, let's start with the progress cloud. The progress cloud is essentially a technology tree that works very simple in the sense that it branches out in all different directions depending on what you want to focus on. Each technology you unlock will unlock a wide range of things, including various services, buildings to use, various infrastructure, and it will also unlock various options for the political side, but we'll get into that into a moment. What makes the progress cloud so different from, say, something like City Skylines is the fact that you're not just researching upgraded versions of an existing building. You're not going from coal to nuclear power. You're not getting, a small hospital into a bigger hospital. You're dramatically changing the landscape of your game and how you build things. So you're going from zero water, zero sewage, zero electricity, zero gas services, to having gas lighting for the first time, to having electricity for the first time, from not having the telephone to having the telephone for the first time. And it dramatically changes the way you build things and the way you plan. For example, it's very easy to create a district in the start because you only have to put down road, put up housing, and that's basically it. Districts become more expensive to build as you progress technologically, so you have to start thinking and accounting for things like gas, things like sewage pipes, things like electricity, and how that might affect running costs, how that might affect people, and ultimately it's also interesting to the fact that you also have to go back and retrofit everything else that you've built. Now, while the Progress Cloud is certainly interesting and a fun feature to have, the most most probably biggest pillar of selling point of this game is the political intrigue side. So very first, as you start your first district, you'll get a city council. The city council basically holds all the power. You as mayor have a ton of power, but the city council has more, and depending on what you want to do, you will have to get the city council's approval, which means voting on everything. Votes will occur for the creation of a new district. They will occur for modifying a district to add a new service. They will occur for political edicts. So, you're talking about things like workers' unions. They will come along and they will ask to be voted on, and you can essentially try and sway various political parties to go in your favor, whichever you want to do. At the start of the game, there are 3 main parties, and then as you progress through era to era, there are more diverging parties with different interests. Now, the most important point to make out about the political side of things is that not only can you sway parties, but parties can sway other parties. The AI will try and get what it wants from various parties. So the very conservative right-wing party will try and block a workers' union, and they will try and sway other parties to do the same, while you're trying to sway them to vote yes for it. And it all depends on what you want to do. And it's a very interesting system that isn't too complicated, but it does throw in some surprises every now and again. And a lot of your success in the city council, a lot of your success in the votes does usually depend on how much money you have. So for example, if you are wanting to create a new district with a ton of new services, then you need to have the finances to back that up. You need to be making a lot of income every month. You need to have a good stockpile of resources available to you. If you don't, it will likely mean that the council will vote against you unless you have some severe goodwill to all the parties to pull in your favor. And it's a balancing act depending on what the situation is and how approachable the various political parties are. Some characters will be able to not be voted out of office because they have been chosen by the Emperor and appointed as such. However, others will be able to be voted out of office. So if you are playing a character as a mayor that is able to be voted out, you're going to need to pay extra attention to the council, make sure that they're happy, make sure you don't rock the boat too much over a short period of time, so that you stay in power. Overall, at this point, it's a fairly interesting game. The preview build was very polished, it was a lot of fun, and I suppose where the longevity and the replayability of this game will come from is the various different maps, the various different characters with different traits, with different goals, and ultimately different playstyles. The person that is appointed by the Emperor and cannot be voted out of office is going to play very differently to someone who is vulnerable in that way, and I think that's where the interesting part comes from. It would be interesting to see where they go after launch in terms of update and new content, because I think that it is something that could potentially hold a lot of interest for a lot of people. And that's it for our Urban Empire preview. Head on over to Gamewatcher.com for more, and we'll see you over there.